Right, before I tell you the score on this job, just listen out for the guy behind me who's just been taken out by a sniper. What's up, guys? Welcome to the first ever midweek Life of a Jobbing Plumber. Just something I'm trying out. They're going to be shorter videos on a Thursday night and then the standard longer one you expect on a Sunday, and we'll just see how it goes. Obviously, if they're no good, let me know and we'll just keep to the Sunday, but that's it. You'll notice I'm wearing a Pipe Masters t-shirt. This is my favourite plumbing t-shirt, a company in New Zealand called Pipe Masters. I follow them on Instagram. They kindly sent me a t-shirt. Wait till you see the back of it. I don't know if you can see that. Plumbing in paradise. I absolutely love it. So as it's a short video, less waffling from me at the start, and yeah, I hope you enjoy it. This job was a call out to a tenanted property where they were getting lukewarm, warmish hot water, and then it was going cold, staying cold for ages, and then coming back warm again. So first thing I'll do normally is just check it out using my Testo Smart probes just to see what temperatures I'm getting. So here I'm checking the cold coming in and the hot coming out just to check the performance of the boiler. So you can see there I'm almost getting 30 degrees temperature rise, which isn't enough and the water's not warm enough. If we look at the boiler, it's running way high at 93 degrees, far too high. So we're getting 46, 47 degrees hot water outlet, which isn't too bad for a combi, but the boiler's overheating, it's running way too hot. So the issue we've got here is when the boiler and any boiler will do this, when it gets to this kind of temperature, it will either completely lock out on its overheat stat or shut down on its thermostat. And in this period of time, we've still got water coming out the hot tap hot, but once it shuts down, either through a lockout or on its thermostat, the cold water's still coming in. So the hot tap will start to run cold. If it's gone to a lockout, it will stay cold. The customer will have to reset the boiler. If it's just gone off on its thermostat, they'll have to wait for the boiler to cool down before it fires up again. So they'll get that hot, cold, hot, cold. If you're wondering what this U code is, it's because it's gone over 100 degrees. So the U means 10, so we're now at 107 degrees. Right, so what I'm going to show you now is just footage of me swapping the plate on this Worcester. Now this is the long plate, so it extends all the way from the left to the right, and you might look at this and think, bloody hell, how do I get that out? There is an easy way. So all I'm doing here is I'm draining the central heating system. We're in the roof space, so the boiler is the highest part of the system, so I've not got to worry about isolating the boiler flow and return or anything like that. I'm just draining it out because it's the highest point. And then I'm releasing the two screws on the plate to let some air in and let some water out. Now this is a luxury to be able to do this, but if you've got room below your Worcester boiler that you can disconnect and move the hot pipe out of the way, so this is the hot outlet from the boiler, it's very, very easy and very quick to get that plate out. So I'm just struggling there a bit to get it out of the way, but you can see there once that's out of the way and all that water's running down my arm into the bucket, a little bit of wiggling around and a few cuts on your hands later, the plate just pulls straight out of that gap that you've made. Now this is a bit of behind the scenes footage for you. That's not me putting the new plate in, that's me putting the old one back in so I can remove it again and record it for Instagram. This is why I spend a lot of time on jobs, because I'm filming it for Instagram and filming it for YouTube. It just all takes time. So here's the actual new one going in, same way it came out. Just one thing I must say, these videos are edited, and when you buy any Worcester spare, you get enough O-rings, washers, everything for the job you need. So I have replaced the washers in the flow and return manifold where that plate attaches to. And then you just screw it back up, and that's it. Pretty simple. We've not had to do anything inside the boiler. We've done it all from underneath because we've got the luxury of that hot pipe. And then all I need to do now is close the drain point, take the hose off, and just get this hot pipe back in. So compression, nut and olive, and just got to sit it back in that clip, nip it up, and then we're ready to turn the water back on and fill the central heating system. Once that's at pressure, I'm just going to test it. So popping the power on, we're just going to do the performance checks again, Using the Testo Smart probes, going to run the hot water and see what the difference is. There's the old plate in the bucket. Same test I did before I started the job. Cold coming in, hot going out, temperature differential. But this time, rather than the boiler getting up to 106, 107 degrees, it's sat happily at 58. Once I'm happy with that, put it all back together and go home. Did this job on a Saturday. And I kicked the bucket over, straight after I finished, kicked the bucket over, all that water in. And it came through the bathroom ceiling. Right guys, you'll like this job. So I've been called out to this because they've got no heating. They think that the wireless room stat's not working. Got the flame on there. I've took this off the wall. That's just the wall plate. So I'm going to take this up to the boiler to fix it. So here's the boiler cupboard. Heating's on. Calling for heat, but the boiler's not fired. Status 0. Look on the wall, and it's a Bosch receiver. It's not a Danfoss. And there's a box for the Bosch wireless RF stat. So someone's changed the stat, left this one on the wall. That's where the confusion is. So now I'm going to go and find the proper one. Confused? Yeah, you might be. What's happened is someone has left this on the wall because they didn't want to decorate behind it when they took it off. When they fitted this one, which I've just found, this one, the batteries had died. So the son has come, put new batteries into this one on the wall because he saw this first and couldn't understand why the heating wasn't working. So what I'm going to do is put this back on the wall because I can't decorate the wall without the batteries in, and tell him that this is the one he needs to use. But yeah, random call out. Right, just a real quick video on what I think is the worst filling link on any boiler. It's on this glowworm. So I need to put some pressure in. This part here, you need to push it up and then lock it in place. But they don't always go up easy. And just so you understand that, I'll show you on the inside of the boiler. So it's this part here. You can see there's a bit of a gap there now. When I push it up underneath, what it's doing is engaging that. If you did it with it down, water will just come out of here. So push it up and then we lock it in place with a green clip. Now that's ready to fill. So I'll just do it again. So that's in. Out. So make sure it's pushed up. That's locked in place. And then these are what you open. Now what you'll find is these will be really stiff and they won't turn. These are extensions, they're just rubber. Best trick is to do it from there. 8mm hex key to open them. So you do that both sides. So I'll do it on first. So now we're putting pressure in. I'm going to shut it. Shut that one. Now you might say, why don't you just leave that connected? Because we've closed that, we'll close that. There's something in the water regs which means you can't leave a filling loop connected like that, which is why they give you the option of disengaging it like that. To give an air gap. I'll try and find that and I'll put it in the video now. Right, so this is my copy of the water regs. If you've done your unvented, you should have one of these because you have to do your water regs for that. If you're in college, you might have one, but if you've not, it's a handy book to have. Having said that, the most interesting section in it is the backflow prevention section. So I just wanted to start off, brief introduction of what you get in this book. So we categorize the water into different fluid categories. So fluid category 1 is basically wholesome water. So whatever comes out of your mains into your property, into your dwelling, before you've done anything with it, is fluid category 1, wholesome water. And then depending on what you do to that water when it gets into your house or commercial premises, the fluid category changes. So just looking at this one, fluid category 2, mixing of hot and cold water, drinks in vending machines, sprinkler systems, ice machines, that takes up to category 2. Category 3, this is the one that concerns us now. Water in a primary circuit and heating system with all of that additives. Additives means inhibitor, chemicals you put in your heating system in a house. If it's in a commercial premises, so in here, same thing, primary circuits and heating systems in other than a house, it jumps up to fluid category 4. So fluid category 3, that's our heating water. So then you've got other sections in the book. I'll just flick through, gives you more details on the fluid categories. So 3 is heating water, water that's in a wash basin in your bath, garden hoses, anything, it tells you all stuff like that. Then you get backflow prevention, and that tells you all the different devices. And for example, like fluid category 3, so a device that's suitable for that is an AG air gap. So it tells you the sizes, or mechanical things. So for fluid category 3, we've got double check valves. But it's a great little book. It shows you everything. And then I'm just looking for the section on obviously filling loops. Right, this is the section we want here, hot water services. So just looking at this first paragraph, primary and other closed circuits have to be initially filled with water and may require additional topping up at intervals during use. That's your filling loop. Initially filling the system and then regularly topping the pressure up via the filling loop. Primary circuits may contain additives, so inhibitor, and the water can be heavily contaminated, so iron oxide, black sludge that you get in your radiators and your heating system. Therefore, they are not to be permanently connected to any supply pipe without an adequate backflow prevention device. So that's telling me you can't leave them permanently connected unless you've got a suitable backflow prevention device. Well, we already looked at heating water in a domestic dwelling. It's category 3. It needs a double check valve. Double check valve is what you get on a filling loop. I'm not sure if the ones integral inside a boiler contain a check valve though, so that's probably why we've got the air gap on the glowworm that we've just looked at. But if you've got a normal external filling loop with a double check valve on it, then you can leave it permanently connected. And then there's, you can read all through, like if you look here, it's essential that there is no backflow of water at any time from the primary circuit into the water supply. The water supply is disconnected or vented to atmosphere during the periods between filling and subsequent replenishing of the water in the primary circuit. So you might interpret that different to me, but to me that reads as you can leave it connected if you've got double check valve, but if you've not, then you need to disconnect it. Hope that was interesting. Just while we're on the subject of books, these are 2 really good books if you want to further your knowledge, especially like the plumbing one, because I mean, I'm lucky, I've got my dad. If I see any kind of old stuff in a property, I can always ring my dad and say, what's this? How does this work? And 9 times out of 10, he'll know what I'm on about. But for example, this old Primatic cylinder, if you want to know how they work, there's diagrams in there, explanations of it. It's just a great book. It covers everything really. How to, heat recovery period of a hot water cylinder, basic stuff, how things work. Goes quite technical as well when you need it. Oh, there's a picture of my granddad. Didn't even know that was in there. That's my granddad Vin. He's bricking up a door. They did a new kitchen at my Auntie Margie's house in Wigston. Oh, I didn't know that was in there. What was I looking at? Parallel threads, tapered fittings. when I was looking at that. Oh, I got distracted then by my granddad. So I just wanted to say, these 2 books and this one, I've made an Amazon storefront because I see everyone's doing them these days. I've put them on there, but for some reason this isn't available. Maybe there's a new edition, maybe there's a 3rd edition, but this was coming up as 50 quid, so don't pay 50 quid for it. I think I paid 9 quid. There must be other websites selling these, not Amazon, but I've put it on there anyway, just these 3 books, so you can see them.
Hello Jamie, Peak Underfloor Heating. My I fucked up moment. Now there's been plenty, which is something all apprentices should know. We've all done it. Don't be ashamed. It happens to everybody. So we done an install for, it was the company's solicitor. So had to be on as best behaviour, and also we'd not been able to make it, so it'd actually been plastered as well. So it was nearly finished. There was just the underfloor heating to go down and the screed. So we've completed the install. We're just finished one evening and we're getting ready to screed the following morning. So we were just sealing up around a few bits of shuttering, soil stacks, etc, etc. So we'd seal them up with expanding foam. So got the, it was actually a new tub of expanding foam. Obviously took the old one off, cleaned it all out, put the gun on, the trigger, to start basically sealing all. Now put the trigger on, pulled the trigger, nothing worked. So, I mean, I cringe when I say this. I screwed the trigger off and looked down the tube to, I don't know what I was hoping to find, but basically it exploded straight in my face, a full can of expanding foam. So it exploded in my face, all up the plastered walls, basically everywhere. Now I panicked, as you do when you're a bit younger and what have you, inexperienced. So I panicked. I had my t-shirt on. I remember it clear as day because it was in the summer. I had my t-shirt on and pulled my t-shirt over my head, which actually put all the expanding foam through my hair, and then I just started trying to wipe down wherever I could, all over this finished plaster. So yeah, that was fun. And what's even funnier is I rung through, I thought I've got to ring the office to tell them. So my old gaffer was the biggest joker ever, so I rung through to the office and I said, I've had an accident and everything. I don't know whether you need to tell this solicitor, put it in the accident book, whatever. So he heard me out on the phone conversation and he said, right, you best come into the office first thing tomorrow. So I said, right, am I in big trouble? And he said, no, I just want to see the state of your hair, which was funny. So I actually had to cut, it was all up the side of my hair. I actually had to actually cut the hair out because there was just clumps of dried expanding foam. And it also went in my eyebrows, so I didn't want to shave my eyebrows off, but you know when you have a shower on a night, obviously your eyebrows stop water going in your eyes. Well, my eyebrows didn't actually work for about 3-4 weeks after, so yeah, we've all done them.
Jamie's a really good mate of mine. We're in a WhatsApp group together. He helped me out with the November tool theft campaign. He does underfloor heating. He's an expert in underfloor heating, so because I don't do it, I told him I was interested in it. He let me go out with him for a day on a job to learn about underfloor heating. So basically trained me up on that. We've got a similar taste in music. He's just a really nice, kind guy. So, and you can follow him on Instagram at peakufh underfloor heating. Yeah, got it right. If you've got any stories you want to share, fails, worst job you ever did, drop me a message on here or easier on Instagram and I'll get you featured. But thanks to everyone who's sending these in, because I think people are benefiting from seeing what happens when the job goes wrong.